Ramble.
What up, ladies and germs? It's another fantastic week here in quarantine. Well, I don't know if it's fantastic, but it is the TryPod, and that's a fantastic news. You know, it's always fun to hang with your lovable boys. You got the daddy of one, Ed Fulmer.
Hello.
The daddy to us all, Zach Kornfeld.
Hello, my children.
The daddy of my house, me.
Yeah.
And we don't have the daddiest of us all this week with Eugene, but we always have everybody's Miles national daddy,
yeah,
Miles.
Girl, get it. I'm a little triggered by starting this with ladies and germs, but I guess we're broadcasting. Yeah. We're broadcasting for everyone, all creatures, all organisms, all animals.
Yeah. Little on the nose over there, Keith.
A little heavy-handed.
Me too. But I did say that my friend Brian Wool, who does stand-up, like 3 weeks ago, did a tweet that says, "I hate that if a comedian starts with 'Good evening, ladies and germs,' it's now a topical joke." And I'm like, wow, it was a good tweet. It was a good joke, but I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that today. I hope nobody has germs. I hope everyone's doing okay. Of all our listeners. But it's what's going on this week? How's everybody doing? And we're just off a weekend, and this Friday for us, it will have been a complete month in quarantine. So we're in the home stretch for month number 1, y'all. How we feeling?
Yeah, we are 23 days in. I mean, there's ups and downs for sure. There was a weekend this weekend. Didn't really feel like a weekend. Felt like more of the same. Yeah. Like, what do you guys do to make your weekend feel different other than try not to work?
A heckin' party, Ned.
You do?
I had a hangout on Zoom on Friday. Becky had a trivia night on Saturday.
Oh, I forgot about that.
An entire trivia game.
Oh, man. Totally forgot. I was planning on doing that.
I think we never heard your RSVP, so we only texted the people who had RSVP.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you don't RSVP, you're fucking out of there.
Yeah, of course they had to prepare appetizers for everyone. You had to know
each plate,
how big of a Zoom
money.
account to create.
I'm proud to say that I came in second place in trivia, bested only by Eugene in first place.
Wait, it was solos?
Well, no. Eugene was playing with Matt, who did not help answer a single pop culture question. There was one question about what are the top 10 grossing Marvel movies, and Matt turns to him and goes, "I think Wonder Woman is one of them, right?"
Oh, wow.
Of course, Wonder Woman, the biggest Marvel property.
And Maggie walked by, and she helped me with a couple, but she's like, "I can't play this trivia. I know Becky's going to do all these pop culture questions, and I can't do it, and I'm out." And so it was very exciting and thrilling to be able to have a victory from the comfort of my home.
Nice. But pop culture trivia is tough. I mean, there's some people that know all these artists and actors and from the 70s and 80s, 90s and more. That's you?
It's thrilling because my head is filled with a bunch of useless information, but in trivia, finally, my wasted childhood can shine.
Well, not wasted anymore.
Exactly. I want a bag of dumplings from Keith.
How did you win it? Is he going to mail it to your house?
No, either I need to go pick it up or he's going to come drop it off. We haven't decided yet. We're going to have to rock, paper, scissors for it.
Yeah. Well, in other similar news, Zach, who's starting into a video game adventure, he was asking the internet if he should get Animal Crossing or Breath of the Wild. I immediately texted him, "What are you talking about? How have you not played Breath of the Wild?"
Yeah. That was so rude that the majority of that survey said Animal Crossing. I get that it's a popular game right now, but there's no way. I haven't played it, so maybe I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure there's no way that Animal Crossing can beat the depth, the majesty, and the beauty of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Well, so let's talk about this. So I now is the time. I always avoid getting video games because I know myself. I'm so capable and vulnerable to getting addicted and getting just sucked into a game. So I never even allowed myself the opportunity to play Zelda because it's like 300 plus hours of gameplay. But now we're in this situation where kind of video games are back, baby. We all should be doing it.
The video games are back.
Video games are
Miles, you're a young boy, but for us 30 plus year olds, you play a little fewer video games as you get older. It's tough to find the time, tough to get on that grind. But I feel like these last 2 weeks, I've reverted to being a 22-year-old. I mean, I work out, I play video games. And then I also
take care of your newborn
take
child.
care of my child, so that's different. But
You texted us that you dropped in Fortnite. I wasn't able to join you, but I felt bad.
crushed.
it was nap time. Oh, don't feel bad. Well, I had a great time. I made some new friends on the online internets. Had my headset on. They were
you talking
mostly
to them?
9-year-old boys. I watched some esports and Overwatch to inspire me to play better. And then I tried playing, and I think I was a little bit better because I was watching their techniques, little tricks.
Hell
But
yeah.
I'm reverting back to my early 20s. Just because there's nothing else to do.
So I'm going to be picking up Breath of the Wild from Keith later this week, which I'm stoked for. He's going to disinfect it, leave it on the sidewalk, and then I'll run out and grab it and run back into my car. But I really wanted Animal Crossing, and I kind of thought in my mind that it would be this really cute game that Maggie and I could play together. Let's talk about Animal Crossing, right? The whole world is talking about it. It's been framed as this relief from the stresses of real life. So I FaceTimed Miles last night. I said, Miles, you got 3 minutes on the clock. Convince Maggie why we should get Animal Crossing. And then I also, after calling you, I called our friend Lord DIY, and I had her do the same thing.
Wow.
Does she have Animal Crossing?
She's in deep to Animal Crossing.
I bet her island is cute as fuck.
Oh, of course, it's adorable. She's doing this egg hunt. But I got a bone to pick.
Whoa.
Boner alert!
I got
Bone.
I got a bone to pick.
Bone.
Shake your bone. Shake
With
your
Animal
bone.
Crossing?
With Animal Crossing and with Nintendo and with
Whoa.
the Twitter world. Yeah, I'm
here we
calling
go.
all of you. Here we fucking go. Because people have been telling me, you gotta get Animal Crossing. It's the most soothing, relaxing game. You go to this island and you make friends and everything's wonderful. Okay, here's what fucking happened to me last night. First of all, I get to a deserted island. There's a lot of trees in bloom. I have allergies. That's flag number one. Number two, there's some raccoon-looking motherfucker who's clearly a cult leader who immediately puts you in $50,000 of debt. You begin this game in tremendous debt, and what does he give you? A cell phone. I didn't ask for that plan. I'm here on an island trying to disconnect. And a tent with a cot. I got chronic back pain, dog. You trying to kill me out here? Then I'm playing this game, and in the course of under 2 minutes, I get attacked by a swarm of hornets who sting my eye. My eye is swollen shut in the game. Also, a fucking night spider comes out of nowhere and chases me down, attacks me. My little handheld controllers vibrate, and then I pass out. And I wake up next to my bed. How'd I get back to my bed? I don't know. That shit's terrifying. How does the game start? You have to name your island. And once you name your island, you can't change it. Ever. No matter what you do. That is stress.
Yeah, it is. You definitely got the short end of the stick, and the spider that kills you that only spawns every once in a while.
I didn't have a net yet. I couldn't do anything. I tried to fish the spider.
Wait, go back to the part where is the entire inciting incident of the game somebody forcing you into crippling debt and you're working your way back from it?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you win the game when you can pay off the creditors that are capping your knees.
There's no winning the game. You basically do odd jobs for people.
That's capitalism
and you go
for you.
fishing. It's capitalism made adorable. That's literally what the game is. And the point of the game is not to win anything. It's just to get gifts, dress well, and design your house. It's just consumerism.
Yeah.
But adorable.
Well, it makes sense why people are into it now because you can't really be a power consumer these days.
Everything you can do in Animal Crossing, you can do in Zelda Breath of the Wild. You get to cook your own meals. You get to design your own outfit. You get to shake trees for stuff. You can do all the things in that game, except you can also fight big old trolls, the reflect lasers at big spider monsters. Those big spiders that chase you down too.
There's actually challenging, tricky puzzles in Zelda.
Yeah.
It's not just all killing monsters. It's like it's got a little bit of everything.
You also get telekinesis, essentially, at one point. You get like these unbelievable cool powers that are very fun, and like you have to use them in certain ways to solve puzzles. You get to go to the beach. You get to go to the mountains. You get to basically walk around in lava at some point. Kinda.
I've heard that this new Zelda, it begins with the entire map unlocked. So if you wanted to, you could go right to the final boss in the beginning and you would die, but you could do that, right?
This new Zelda that came out about 5 years ago.
The new Zelda?
It's
been out
definitely
for
not
several years.
Yeah, not a new game. But it definitely, I will say.
Brand new game.
The sequel is imminent.
Yeah, the sequel is actually announced and coming out.
Sequel's coming out this winter, they say, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
If I start playing now, maybe I can beat it in time.
Yeah, it'll just be one clean adventure.
I will say Animal Crossing is kind of like knitting. Like it's like a good pastime to do for a little bit every day. It's like relaxing, and every day it's a little bit different because it happens in real time. But Breath of the Wild is like extreme sports. It's addicting. You play it forever. There's so much to do. It's like one of the best games of all time.
You disappear into it. You're going to start playing it, and then it's going to be 9 p.m., and you realize you're still in your underwear, you haven't eaten, and you're about to pass out from dehydration.
It's kind of like, do you want to like draw your own drawing, or do you want to walk through the galleries of one of the greatest museums ever and appreciate beautiful works of art that also let you draw on them?
No.
These are a lot of compelling arguments, but my one question, in Zelda, can I be in debt to a raccoon?
Huh.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Sharks, I'm out.
You may be right. You may be right.
No, I'm excited to play both of them.
There's no debt in Zelda. It's all cash-based accounting.
It's all rupees.
Transactions. Rupees only.
Yeah.
It's a barter system.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that despite the fact that I was horribly maimed by a swarm of bees last night, I woke up this morning, I'm like, do you think I could tell the guys that I can't do the podcast so I can just go make friends with little critters? Like, that's all I want. I have so much work to do today. And this was my fear. Like, I thought that with this time I would finally get to reading, and I have this project I've been in the middle of writing. Nah, I just want to befriend a fucking rhinoceros man and go catch him a moth.
Now, Zach, you could come to my island, and I can give you some stuff that's going to help you.
I can go to your island.
Yeah, you can come to my island, and I can...
Do you guys know about this?
I haven't played the game. I'm defending Zelda just because I like Zelda.
I'm aware that you can visit each other's islands. That's half the appeal. And I think it's so funny that we're all trapped in our own homes, and now we are going to digitally make new homes that we can visit each other's digital fake homes.
Yeah. It does make sense as like a sign of the times, you know.
Now, also, I don't know if you know this, you can you can design clothing, and then you can put those designs on the ground as like carpets, and you can put them on the wall. And so people out there have been designing our Try Guys merch in Animal Crossing, like all of our color block hoodies. This one, there's someone made a very detailed pixel art version.
TryGuys.com?
Actually, this is my second boner to pick, is that I feel like we should be getting a cut of those bells. You know, here Tom Nook in Animal Crossing is just hoarding all the bells that people are making Try Guys merch. I think we should get a kickback.
What's a bell? Is that like cash?
It's like $1.
It's their version of money. You know, it's money but cute.
Zach, you should be able to also give people your Dodo code, and they can send you things in the Animal Crossing mail.
Watch
now,
out.
if I give people my Dodo code, can they come visit my island, or is that just pure gifts?
They can only visit your island if you open your gates to them specifically. So they can like mail you stuff in your little mailbox. You can open it up, and they'll like send you bells and whatever.
that's exciting. But isn't that cheating? Because I'm just skipping all these steps. I'm not actually working for things. I'm just like
not
getting
knowing
dope
what this
stuff.
game is so crazy listening to this conversation. Sounds like you're
capitalism.
speaking a foreign language.
It is just capitalism.
Okay, I know that should move on from Animal Crossing, but one more. Oh, go ahead, Keith.
I have a concern too. Could Zach invite like all of our fans to the island, and can they all be there at the same time? And can it basically be a massive like party? And then
Keith, this is exactly what I was just about to bring up. So, yes, you can invite people to your island, and I wanted to make a video from home where I just open my gates to thousands of people and just let them fucking go nuts. And you can, apparently your friends can like throw stuff in the river and they can mess with your shit too. And I wanted to just let it be chaos. I wanted to let chaos reign on my island. But Miles told me, and I was talking to people on our Patreon, that you can only have like 8 friends?
8 friends at a time, but people form a queue. So as they all try to get in, when one person goes out, the next person comes in. So like it becomes like a
sounds horrible.
Yeah, but
I already deal with that at the grocery store.
A friend of mine warned me.
I'd rather be in
I asked her, you can be both. You can do both.
Premise.
She told me that I would regret opening my island and that once you open the floodgates, there's no going back.
You're so early in the game that it probably doesn't matter. And like you can, whatever you can do, you can undo for the most part. And if like, I think that it's a funny enough thing that you should just do it.
So you're telling me I could open my island, let people go fucking haywire on that shit, and then at a certain point be like, the gates are closed, like Willy Wonka. I just retreat, and then I'm not seen from until Slugworth comes up and starts talking to children in alleyways.
Yes, Slugworth, sketchy character to say the least.
Keith, you could be my Slugworth.
I would be a great Slugworth.
Actually, no, I take that back. You're my Grandpa Joe.
Okay.
Ned, you're Charlie, because you're just like, you're pure of heart. Miles, you're Slugworth.
Love that.
Who are you, Zach?
I'm Willie in this version.
Oh, I feel like you'd be Charlie.
Well, I know, but in this scenario, it's my magical island, and I'm closing the gates.
I see.
I heard
You're
Slugworth,
right.
and I thought of Slughorn from Harry Potter, and I got very confused.
Willy Wonka is a wizard for sure, right? Like he's a candy. I mean, honestly, he's exactly like the candies that are in the Harry Potter universe, right? He makes candies that have magical properties.
Maybe it's a grand unifying theory.
Wow, that actually, I'm very surprised they didn't Easter egg that into something, just because his candies are clearly
magic.
Magic.
Have we ever talked about childhood traumatic movies? Because the scene in Willy Wonka, or is it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Always forget which one's named what. Where there's no knowing where we're going.
God, Jesus, terrible.
That scene.
Is it raining? Is it snowing?
Is
there a hurricane blowing?
It was the scariest scene to me as a kid, absolutely bar none.
For me, the scariest scene was that guy getting sucked up the tube of chocolate.
Augustus Gloop?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is definitely drowned. Like, he is. There's no way that dude survives.
Do you guys ever read the Charlie and the Glass Elevator?
Yes.
The sequel to Charlie and the
memory of
it. Sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is great.
They just fly around.
Yeah.
I mean, I was probably in second grade. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fly around in space and there's aliens.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is awesome that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is formatted like a slasher movie.
Yeah.
But for children. It's the exact it's the exact progression. It's like you're punished for your sins. You die horrifically one by one by an enigmatic madman.
I've been so Becky and I, as the rest of the world has done, have been baking a lot more. I think we're all going to come out of this no longer needing to buy bread because like last night we just made like, let's make some dinner rolls. I don't know.
That's great.
We made like coffee cake, we made yeast rolls, we've made I've been making tortillas. I've mastered the corn tortilla, which is so delicious
yeast
and
roll?
easy.
Whoa, cool.
It's kind of like if you ever went to like Longhorn Steakhouse. So if it's a steakhouse that has like the little buttery topped golden rolls, they're typically yeast rolls, and basically they have milk and eggs and butter in them, so they're much richer rolls, and they're very densely bready, but a little more luxurious. But typically they're just
Daddy Keith.
covered in butter.
Up, Keith.
But here's my exciting weekend. So Becky and I are so sick of doing dishes because we're baking all the time, and that creates obviously so many dishes. We don't have a dishwasher, so it is just hell every time. I know. So we decided on Friday night that we would order takeout from a place next to us, and they had a barbecue picnic for 2 to 3. So we're like, hell yeah, we can just eat that for the next 4 days.
Great.
So we got all this stuff, and we really have spaced it out. So today we're going to be having the pork that came with it, the pulled pork, and that's why we made the yeast rolls so that we could have pulled pork sandwiches.
Nice.
Yesterday we had leftover steak and smoked chicken, so we made tacos. So I made corn tortillas and we made tacos. So we've been able to really treat this as just buying our groceries.
You bought your groceries and meat.
Yeah, it's like we're supporting a local restaurant, and also we're able to like extend it to last like 4 days. We're having breakfast sandwiches today with the hot link that's left over, and the yeast rolls as well.
And when they say it feeds 2 to 3, like it actually feeds 4.
Oh yeah. It came with like 4 giant sides. It came with rolls. It came with it was like 6 ribs.
That's awesome.
Like half a pound of beef, half a pound of pork, half of a chicken, 2 hot links. It was so much food.
I actually think that's a tremendous recommendation in that a lot of restaurants right now are finding creative ways to have new uses. There's a poke place by me that has just become a phenomenal fish market, right? Like they're doing still the takeout, but you can buy the fish wholesale from them, and it's a way to help keep them alive. And it also, we joked about the lines at grocery stores before. I'm thrilled to see, I don't know if this is countrywide, that all the grocery stores here are making people stand in line 6 feet apart outside. Yeah. Only a certain amount of people are allowed in at a time, which is very cool, but very time consuming. So if you can support a local restaurant, do that.
Well, so I did the batch cocktails from my brother-in-law's restaurant. It was like 6 or 8 servings worth of cocktails. Felt like 10, but it was like a kind of a pre-made cocktail thing that you'd like pour some out, and then they would have certain garnishes. But in addition to that, they had pre-packaged marinated meats that they would just be ready to serve in the restaurant. But these came in like vacuum sealed packs, and it's basically they're kind of cleaning out their restaurant freezer.
Right.
But you can just take it home and then have like a really high quality cut of protein. Nice. But the batch cocktails, I mean, watch out! Like they definitely
they're delicious.
We had too many one night for sure. That's deceptive. Hard to know how much you're drinking. Not being a professional mixologist and used to drinking white wine.
I definitely have woken up sometimes because it's been like rainy and cold, and we have like the windows open. I'm waking up like, am I sick or am I just hungover with allergies? Because I am feeling fatigued.
Yeah,
but it's just no. It's because I had like 4 or 5.
Oh god! I haven't.
Yeah,
no wait, I'm just drank too much last night.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you with the baking, Keith. I've been on a sourdough journey, and I've made sourdough before, but as life got crazier, I started doing it less in favor of yeast breads. And when we went on tour, I let my sourdough starter die. It's a horrible thing. No! So I figured now that I have time on my hands, I'll try and build it back up. But it took it's been 2 weeks, and I have just now only made like my first, what I would consider like actually good sourdough. I had some really like it wouldn't rise properly. I thought it was ready, but it wasn't. The leaven wasn't floating in the water, and it was like, even having been baking for 2 years now, it's just really fucking hard to make sourdough.
Shit.
Now I've got it like kind of dialed in, but like, man, it took a while.
Is sourdough, that's the bread that you dropped off for me and Keith?
No, that was a yeasted bread. It had a little bit of the sourdough starter, but I put in some yeast to, make sure it didn't get fucked up. That's kind of like a half and half, sort of like cheating. But like a real sourdough is using all natural yeast, which is what you do when you put the flour and water, and you just let it sit on your counter for days.
Yeah.
It's all nasty and funky. And that's, that's like the yeast that you'd get in the packet, but now you've kind of created it yourself.
So you're telling me that your bread is going to get even better?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you like sourdough, then yeah. And if you don't, then no.
was bang. It was so good. I could not believe
it. Was good bread.
Yeah.
Now, could you have your mother, right? That's what they call it. The mama.
Yeah, so I could portion it out, and like we could y'all could be baking off the daddy dough.
Wow,
we could be
that
bread
is-
Yeah,
buddies.
you
We could be bread brothers.
Bread brothers.
bread children, I would say.
I'm not kidding. This weekend, Maggie was, maybe she saw one of your stories or no, you know what? We have a video upcoming where, no, it was a video today. Matt said that he thought he could do better at bread than you, which whew, I would love to see it. If he can, I'll eat it. Whoever wants the bread, I'll take it. But Maggie then was looking
confidence.
Maggie was looking up scoring art, and she's like, I bet you I could make bread look really pretty.
Oh,
like, go for it.
Yeah.
But everyone's coming for your crown, Ned. Everyone thinks that they can dance the dance. And
You know what? Baking outside of competition reality shows is not a competitive thing, right? It's more of like an arts festival, you know? Like I'm happy to share the love, share the journey, share the bread. Like I would love for everyone to be baking, because then we'd have more things in common.
How could we do a bread festival while still practicing social distancing?
We'd have to be very good at descriptive language.
We can all come to my island in Animal Crossing, bring some bread.
Yeah, bread in Animal Crossing. But the main differences you might see in a sourdough between that type of loaf that you had, Zach, was like the kind of the crumb, the holes in the bread might get a little larger, a little more like artisan looking. And the flavor profile will become less kind of like yeasty and more like, you know, what you would get in the richness of a traditional sourdough. I also put in slightly more whole wheat to make it.
Yeah, go off, Ned.
A little bit. Yeah. Yes,
Get
bread.
that bread in me.
Yes, get that bread.
Go off.
Here's the thing. Now is the time for all of us to get VR headsets and for all of us to have virtual avatars and for all of us to go hang out at virtual parties, because this is it. We could do it. Like the VR industry has always been like, oh, we're almost there. 360-degree video. We're almost there. Now is the time for us to fully become 3D monsters in space and just go hang out. And like, you know, we're all in our living rooms dancing with headsets, but we're actually in a dope like Coachella rave and we're having a great time. Like we could do it. We just need everyone. We need Oculus to send us all free headsets, and we need software developers to just like make it super easy so everybody can just do it. I think that would solve a lot of our weekend issues right now.
I made my virtual background Ned's bread face, and it really made the buffering not happy.
Yeah, it really
I was checking that out. It definitely seemed to slow our feed down.
It was a mistake, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, the podcast, like when you listen to the podcast afterward, it sounds a lot better because I cut out all the pauses. So it seems like we're jimming and jamming and ripping and vibing really quickly.
For me right now, Keith is still frozen like this, and he looks like angry Bernie Sanders. He's like, ugh.
Yeah, Keith still has completely frozen.
I don't know what to tell you.
Is
I
it
do
frozen?
like that virtual reality idea. I tried to do something similar. It wasn't virtual reality, but this weekend I tried to have a party with some of my college improv friends, and we were kind of just hanging out, having drinks, and then the plan was that we were going to do an improv format where you just you cannot see each other. So we turned off all of our video feeds, and it was an audio only improv format with like soundscapes. The lag made it very difficult to parse. Like imagine like improv is already pretty tough, and then Zoom conference calls are pretty tough when you're not trying to do improv. But you know, it's fun to see those guys.
You know what I just did? I read something this weekend that Zoom is exhausting, like mentally, and part of it is because you're seeing yourself the whole time. And so there's, I don't know, I skimmed the article, but there's this mental blockade. So I'm turning my self view off, and I'm just going to look at you guys. Because, you're always drawn to your own face. So I'm gonna see how that goes.
I have certainly found that sense of exhaustion. It's sort of like a phone call. You can kind of like, I don't know, like not be in your pants or put yourself on mute and do the dishes, or, you know, like there are of a spectrum of phone calls as to their importance. Yeah. Sometimes you're really just listening, but on Zoom calls, you're always, people can see you.
Yeah.
So you
all
have
the
to
time.
pretend like you're paying attention.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I feel like I do. My eyes do go to me more often than not, and it like does.
All right, hide self view.
Yeah, I've spent most of the podcast staring at myself and being, wow, what a handsome looking guy that is.
Yeah,
I get it.
good looking
man.
son of a bitch. Yeah. Keith, we
This
have
is the first time I've. Yes, Miles. What is it? What would you like to say?
Keith,
Yes, Miles.
Keith, we have.
Go ahead, Miles. Miles,
Keith,
Miles,
go
if I
on,
could-
Miles.
Just don't hold it back.
Miles, if I could interrupt
Give it up.
real quick, if I could just interject. Miles, go ahead.
Keith, if you.
I didn't hear what Miles said.
If-
Can Miles start
If
over?
everyone is excited about Keith's
Go
update
ahead, Miles.
last week, you're gonna love this. We're doing egg update round dose. Keith's been eating eggs for a full
right.
week now. Keith, how's it been going? How's your life changed?
It's been going well. I love eating the eggs. However, I will say I have been far more gassy than normal.
Uh-oh.
Is that an egg thing?
Keith has been eating nothing but eggs all week, a pure egg diet.
You did say
I have
that
had, like-
the quarantine was tough on your bowels generally.
Yeah, I mean, so it might not be the eggs. It might just be the general, I don't know, maybe the coffee. I don't know. I've got lots more late night toots, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I do
Keith,
know
do
what
you-
you're saying.
Do you think it's related
I
to
prefer
that
to change
noodle,
the subject.
the noodle challenge we did?
I do think that had Becky and I
Oh.
both were like ill the next day.
Guys, a note on that. A little quick update from me. So I don't know if I told you this, but when we did the noodle challenge.
Set the table for people. Let them know what we did.
Right. Okay, so we did a spicy ramen noodle challenge. We got some of the spiciest, like mail
Korean-
order packets
yeah.
of
Korean
ramen
fire
that you
noodles,
can
they're
get
called.
in the world. Korean fire noodles from Samyang, and they were pretty spicy. First of all, the video was rough on all of us, but we had then 8 or 9 full packets of ramen, and we didn't want to throw them out. Some of us only cooked partial amounts, but for me, I cooked them all. And what I did was I combined them all into one giant Tupperware, and I've been living off that bad boy all week. Which means it had varying spice levels. It kind of settled into a happy, like, medium to high fire, like maybe a 6.5, maybe a 7. And, when you eat spicy foods, it leaves it's a little rough on the way out. It's, it feels spicy.
On the way out.
It feels spicy both places.
On the way out.
Don't want to get too graphic here, but
I had some food waste with mine, and I'll explain why with my own egg update. But first, Ned, I'm curious because I had a couple sitting on the side, and I noticed that those noodles basically congealed immediately. After 10 minutes, it became one clump. So did you not encounter that?
oh yeah, but we heat them up in the microwave. They start sliding and vibing real quick.
Sliding and vibing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I had a perfectly homogeneous noodle solution. It was really more of a kind of a Pangea of different noodle colonies.
Beautiful.
You're getting some transmission between them. But if I picked my scoop right, I would get a clean batch of whatever that one was.
And much like Pangea, on the way out, they were separated by a series of volcanic eruptions.
Okay,
Wow.
now that's your words,
That
not
was
mine.
good. That's
But
very
let's just
nice.
say the dinosaurs were none too happy that day.
Congratulations to all our listeners who made it this far. It was really good. It was a really good reward, I
if
think.
you are this far listening, you like Animal Crossing.
Zach, your tummy. You said you tested your tummy as well, inspired by my tummy test. What was your tummy test, and how did the test fare?
Well, my tummy test was this video. We did this spicy noodle challenge, and unsurprisingly, they're all made with hot peppers and a lot of just bell pepper, paprika. Now, if you don't know, for whatever reason, peppers and specifically
paprika is bell
peppers.
pepper?
I believe so.
Is that common knowledge? Everybody knows that?
I don't know. Just ground
I'll
up pepper.
double check it right now. Yes, it is. I fact checked it. It is any pepper. Technically, you could use a bell pepper to make paprika, but there are paprika peppers, which is a specific kind of
how about that?
red pepper because paprika is just the word pepper in another language. Probably
Paprika.
Italian.
That's interesting.
Paprika.
See, if you get through the horrible diarrhea stories, we teach you something.
Yeah, you learn something.
So I decided to roll the dice. One, I wanted to be in this video. I do love spicy food, and for whatever reason, spicy doesn't seem to affect me the same way as bell pepper, but I've just avoided bell pepper and just peppers in general because, not to be as ungraphic as possible, it eradicates my system. It just full lockdown, like 2 days of wait, like trying to get it through me. But I said, you know what? It's been a couple years. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I should. And actually, I had a microwave dinner. It was like a Trader Joe's Indian biryani. And that had some bell pepper in it that I didn't realize. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's try it. I was fine. So I ate this. I felt like, not on the way out. I mean, the way out was seemed like a shared calamity. But on the way in, it took me about 3 hours to film that video because I was genuinely poisoned. It felt like
oh no.
Felt like from what I've heard, I've never done it. I can't even comment. I don't know. But the first hour of taking a psychedelic drug where I'm like, is this what the world looks like? No. I was starting to have psychoactive effects from the pepper, and I was on the couch. My stomach was hurting, but like the world was just slightly vibrating, like not really. It was just wobbly. Everything was crazy, and I was sweating, and it was a full fucking meltdown.
Oh god!
And so I anticipate when you see this video in a couple weeks, it's like they're gonna be on food 6. I'm gonna be like, all right, bite number 2. Let's do this. So not all like the updates end happy. It is still poison.
But I mean, I think that was just like this. I mean, it was pretty spicy. You think that was related to the bell pepper thing, or just? I mean, it was like your spice tolerance. It was pretty spicy. I love spicy stuff, and it was like by the end there, it was pretty spicy.
It was spicy.
Well, this was after the second dish. I was feeling crazy. I had to take a 45-minute break between dish 2 and dish 3.
Yeah, I had to kind of ham it up for the first 5. It really was more delicious than spicy for the first ones for me.
For me, by spice 3 and 4, I was fully on fire and like just guzzling almond milk, and then I gave up after 4 and subbed Becky in. Spoilers.
Zach, maybe you have a geographic tongue that you never knew existed.
Well, it wasn't. What's weird is that they were different types of spice, and I actually thought that the first one off the bat was like insanely spicy. But like one hit my tongue, one hit my throat, one hit the roof of my mouth. But with the first one, part of the problem as well is that I thought the challenge was you had to finish your bowl to move on. And so I texted the guys like, dudes, I'm dying over here. And they're like, no, like 2 bites and then move on.
We were not doing that.
So the build of the first heat really, really got me.
I gotta say, if you're ever making a ramen soup packet at home and you want to make it delicious, put in an egg right at the end and just stir it up so it just mixes up and it gets all up in there. Oh my gosh, it makes the ramen actually taste unbelievably good.
And that's coming from Mr. Egg Habersberger himself.
Oh boy. Well, otherwise everything is exactly the same every day. And
yeah, I feel like
Becky and I. No, go ahead.
No, I agree.
Miles, go ahead. Miles, go.
We already did this. We did this bit. But yeah, it's just every fucking day is the same. And I feel like the podcast, like, I like that we're diving deeper and deeper into like our bowels, things that on a normal schedule we would not talk about and throw away and move on immediately. We're diving deeper and deeper into them. I appreciate that.
Last night, Becky and I were just like sitting and we're like, I don't want this to be my life anymore. I want, because we don't have a pet and we don't have a baby. We don't have a outside space. Like there's no balcony, there's no yard, so we're just like it just feels so trapped and like I don't know. It just. You feel trapped. We've been talking about punching out the screen window and just making a deck on the parking garage that's outside of our window.
You should do that.
Like, I guess we could just, but it's raining. I can't do that. But I definitely, if they say, hey, this is going until July, I'm like, all right, I'm breaking this window. I'm putting chairs out there because I can't handle it.
Well, I tell you what, Keith, this next happy hour, you can come over to our lawn. We can get some lawn chairs and like we'll talk through the window of the house or something. I don't know. You guys like board games? Zach and I are playing Catan tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that. Telecom Catan board game night.
Telecatan.
You know, I imagine a lot of people, Keith, feel the way you're feeling. Some, several are nearing the end of the first month like we are. Some, I think, are just beginning. Others in this country haven't started at all. Please get on that. Unfortunately, I think we should all expect and anticipate that this will last another month, and it's important that we all do it together, or else there's no reason for anybody doing it. But it's I think we've been fortunate in that we have a lot of things to keep us busy. We've been able to be creative and have output. I don't know. You want to do like a quick lightning round? Anytime we talk about feeling bad, which I don't want to brush over that because that's a totally valid human response, and I don't want to. But I also, we're a happy, positive podcast, and I feel an obligation, or at least an opportunity, to tell people the happy things that we've been doing to occupy our time.
Yeah. I mean, look at these fucking rolls.
Yeah,
look at these.
I made these. Rolls.
Get it,
they look
Keith.
so buttery.
Get it.
I made them with my hands.
Is that a little?
No KitchenAid
Egg wash on top, or how you get that nice brown?
I did a nice, after they came out, I quickly hit them with some butter, and then on half of them I put black toasted sesame seeds.
Oh yes, Keith, yes.
Yeah, but I used unsalted butter, and this was a rare situation in which I should have used salted butter, because I've got to they're very undersalted in flavor. So I need to get some salt on them when we eat them with anything else.
Yeah, I almost always do salted butter just because, like, I like salt.
It's delicious. I just try to control the salt myself, so I always do the unsalted butter.
Smart.
But
I mean, like maybe a pie crust, you're probably supposed to do unsalted butter. But
Zach, well,
it's funny that you earlier you said, "Oh, go ahead, Miles." No, Miles.
Go ahead, Miles.
Miles, go ahead.
Go ahead, Miles. Miles, go ahead, please. Please,
Zach,
Miles.
I've also been feeling the downs, feeling the sads. But something that helped me the other day, as you all know, I've become the top streamer in the world, and it's been good.
Which, by the way, I need you to help me set up my streaming account so I can take you down. But
absolutely.
Continue.
Oh, and by the way, you'll do it immediately. I did do a fun thing where I set up a Google Voice number, and I had people call in to the stream. So I talked to a bunch of different people from around the country and the world, and they were like calling in and just chatting about what they were doing during quarantine, and that made me feel good.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
So wait, you just had like strangers on the phone with you while you were playing games?
Yeah, exactly. So people just called in, like somebody called in from Scotland, somebody called in from just like all over the United States, but they were just like talking about quarantine and how they've been getting through it. And I was playing Animal Crossing while they were talking to me.
I've been doing that in my Instagram Live movie watch-alongs, and it's kind of just become our fans FaceTiming in to show off the tricks that their pets can do.
That's
so
awesome.
Someone was like, please put me on. My bird can do a flip. And I'm like, yeah, okay, come on in. We all want to see that, obviously.
I have thought about doing a talent show where it's like a live Instagram, and you can only come on if you're going to do a trick.
Yeah,
if you come on, you don't have a
that.
trick, I've got to boot you immediately. I'm sorry. This is not about saying hello. This is about doing a trick. I know if you love the Try Guys, I love that. That's awesome, but show me your trick.
It will work. It's exactly what has happened on my live stream, and it's a revelation. I'm like, wow, this is way better than the movie watch along. I want to watch you do that. It's funny, Ned, earlier you said that you've like reverted to being 22, like just working out and playing video games. I found myself reverting to just different ages throughout my life of different pockets of the day. And I think we all collectively are rediscovering the ability to be bored and to fill the time and not just hopefully not just revert to our cell phone. I spent...
The cell phone's got nothing for me.
Got nothing.
I keep getting you're up to date like every 10 seconds. You're up to date, Keith. I'm like, yeah, fuck you. You're up to date. Give me something new. There's got to be some post from somebody.
Well, if you find yourself up to date, you might want to not be up to date, and the only way to do that is to get some advice. Dare I say advice? Wow, look at those pit stains, Ned. Way to go.
It's warm. I get the same thing. I'm wearing a jacket just to hide mine, but I got them.
Mm-hmm. I think I got them too, but this is black. Anyway, this is advice that'll go for Miles with your host, all together now, Miles Bonsignore. Pretty good. Perfect.
I tried to speed mine up to match with what you would be
Radio
hearing.
station.
Now, Miles, a request. We can't hear your song, and I would like you to put it out. Yeah, I want you to put it out like this, because we can't hear
Miles
anything.
Nation. Go!
Yeah, they need to hear what we hear.
Nice little
But
go
that's
for
what we go
Miles.
for, Miles. Yeah.
Nice little go for Miles.
for
What's up,
Miles.
Miles Nation? How you guys doing in the quarantine?
Hell yeah!
Have y'all ever wanted to get ninja'd?
This is either going to be about a blender or about Fortnite.
Have
Yeah.
y'all ever wanted to be a sharp little soldier?
Fortnite.
I'm leaning toward Fortnite now.
Cabbage,
Cabbage?
onions,
Now I'm back to the ninja.
murder,
Oh, back to Fortnite.
betrayal,
Oh,
Maybe he needs
blender.
actual ninjas.
sandwich,
Oh, I don't know where this falls.
corn.
He's just saying words. He's not. What's the uniting theme here?
Should I go play
What's
Yeah.
the advice?
Yams.
yams?
Plastic packaging. These are things that you need to open. And you can only open them if you pull your hair back into a bun and sharpen those knives.
This is good
This is
advice.
good. Yeah.
Knives are killing machines that kill 80,000 people a year.
Oh my god.
Okay.
The only way that you can protect yourself from a sudden death is by sharpening your knives. A sharp knife.
True.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen. It's a
Amen.
safe knife.
It's a safe knife, Keith. Yes. A dull knife is more, you think that, oh, I've got a dull knife. It's not going to stab me in my freaking pinky. Guess what? A dull knife is more likely to bounce off of your cabbage and into your thumb. It's
true.
more likely to slide off of your hot dog and into your palm. It's
Well, I
more
don't know about
likely to stab through your corn and into your horn. Get a knife sharpener, which is not that thing that's a rod that's in your house. Now, a lot of people think.
You're talking the one that you slide through the
Yeah.
Hold up, Miles. The rod works just fine.
Okay, Ned.
Oh.
You just have to know how to
Ned,
use it.
I
I'm
have all the fancy stuff too, but
I
you
got
know what?
one.
My day in, day out, the rod works just fine.
Ned, I'm gonna let you finish, but the whetstone had the greatest sharpening of all time.
Yeah, I'm sure it's better, but
But I
Ned,
agree.
Ned, your advice is maybe advice that'll
Just
go
to
for like
scorn the
a
rod
quarter
is-
mile.
what's that?
You know, we're looking at yours is advice that'll maybe go for a quarter mile. We're looking
Yeah.
at advice that'll go for miles.
Now, Ned, I
Plural.
understand.
what I
that.
want to express to the people is that all measures of knife sharpening are incrementally a good thing.
Yes.
Do not scorn the rod to spare the child.
Go off, Ned. Get fucking drag me.
If the rod's all you got, girl, use that rod because it's gonna save your fingers when you're cutting a tomato that is giving you the business.
Yes,
Do not
girl.
let your
Daddy.
Go
dull
off,
knives
Daddy.
slide
Oh.
off and cut your hands. Sharpen
Put
them
him
as
in
best you
his
can.
place.
And yes, the best is probably some sharper image, sur la table shit.
Sur la table, bitch.
Just the point is,
It also gives
sharp
you a back
is safe.
massage.
So, absolutely, Ned, you're right. The rod is totally fine day to day. If you find that like the rod is only sharpening and then you use it once and then it's kind of just as dull before, what the rod does is it points all the little knife fibers in the right direction. A whetstone actually sharpens it. So a rod is good for day-to-day use, but after several months of knife usage, you want to sharpen it with something else. Otherwise, it's just you're gonna have to
Knife
sharpen it every time with the
fibers.
rod. Yeah, it has to
Knife
do
fiber?
It has to do with like the iron inside the
It's
knife.
like a good band name. Knife Fiber. I would go see Knife Fiber for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I have one other knife-related tip. And this is a specific knife that really can only be used for fruits and veggies and things that are not hard. But a ceramic knife is a really amazing knife that really doesn't need to be sharpened. It really maintains its sharpness well. However, if you as much as try to even take an avocado pit out, it could break.
Yeah.
They're very fragile. So like they say like never get it near a bone. It will just snap apart from trying to go through a bone. But if you keep it to your tomatoes and stuff that has that really soft flesh that you don't want to dent, a ceramic knife is perfect. I recommend everyone have at least one ceramic knife, and it'd probably be good to make it like a smaller like paring knife or something that you're not going to want to use to chop through a bone. Myself, our mother-in-law was here and she broke my ceramic knife. I know she listens to the TryPod. It's okay. I forgive you. It's totally fine.
I don't forgive you, however. I hold it against you to this day.
And the pit was on. It was an avocado pit situation, but she tried to slam the knife on the garbage can to knock the pit off instead of pinching it off. And by hitting the garbage can, it took away like the center part of the knife, and we had to throw away the knife. And also then I always get afraid throwing away a knife because I don't want some garbage man to like sling it into themselves, you know?
Yeah.
So every time I throw away a knife, I like wrap it with bubble wrap, and then I wrap it in cardboard, and then I put it in a bag, and then I put it in the bag.
Yeah.
It's like my nightmare would be somewhere along the line. Surprise knife.
Surprise knife!
I will also give one bit of knife advice that has to do with your fingers. If there's a lot of different ways that you can hold things, a lot of proper grips, but if there's one thing that you take away, is that to stop gripping things like this, I have all of my fingers out with my thumb exposed and grip them like this. So put your thumb inside and grip them with your thumb being guarded by your fingers, and then the blade of the knife can rest against your front, like your middle knuckle and your pointer knuckle, whereas your thumb is like inside and protected. Takes some getting used to, but if you can start doing that type of cutting more naturally, your thumb is always going to be safely tucked away behind your other fingers.
That's right, Ned.
And I will give a piece. That's right, Ned.
That's right, Ned.
And I'll give a piece of knife advice as well. Sometimes it's good to use. Yeah, I've been renaming myself.
I've seen that.
Sometimes it's good to use nature's knife, the teeth. Occasionally, when I'm making a salad, I'm too lazy to use the knife, so I'll take a carrot and I'll go chomp, 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 and let little rounds of carrots fall into my salad. Because that's where they're going again anyway. And then you don't have to wash the knife. You've just chomped your way like a little Bugs Bunny.
I watched a whole video of a person preparing their entire meal that way once. Really? It's actually like a thing people do.
Should we just try guys prepare meals without utensils?
That's such a funny quarantine video, like having to only use your hands and teeth.
That's my vlog beat this week, where I'm sick of washing my dishes. I'm going to use... That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
Thanks for being fans of the show, everyone. Be sure to subscribe and rate us 5 stars to help other people discover the show. Also support the show and our staff by getting some merch at tryguys.com. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday for you during quarantine, and we have a couple of episodes that we recorded before quarantine that will be mixed in. It'll feel a little fun, a little sillier. Let you get an escape from the world. But we love you. Hang in there.
Be kind to yourself this week. Be kind to the people around you. You deserve it. Everyone is going to need it. So be good out there, people. Keith, hit us with the official TryPod theme song.
Oh, take all your knives out of your drawers and put them all over your kitchen. Wow, look at all those knives that you've got. How did you get all those knives? Did you get those knives in college? Did you get those knives from your grandma? You got too many knives. Whittle down your knives, but then protect your knives when you throw your knives into the garbage, because you don't want someone to end up getting sliced for doing their essential duty. Yeah, you're listening to the TryPod.
Until next time, stay beautiful.